You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own, and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with. All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pace Radio Show, and good evening, I should say, as well. We're live here at paceradio.net and cbgtv.com. Good evening, Tamara. How you doing?
I'm okay. How are you doing, Al?
Not bad. You on holidays?
No.
Did you go to Banff or something? Like, I'm just seeing mountains behind you. Like, is this off? Are you on a balcony or something, or what?
No, this is Fisher Peak, and I realized that we have backgrounds, and so I decided to upload a picture. This mountain is actually just out here.
Oh, okay. So it's in your neighborhood.
Yeah,
like
I just my backyard. Yeah, that's.
So like if you were on a phone, you could walk out and say, "Hey, there's that mountain."
Yep. Yeah, I can.
Cool.
So yeah, but usually it's the dogs, and I just figured this was a little nicer to look at.
Come on, we enjoyed your closet.
Right? Come on. Yeah, no, I'm sick of the closet look.
Yeah.
I jumped out of I don't have to jump out of the closet or anything like that, but I was done with the closet.
Right. So last week, I missed the broadcast. I was away, doing those things to make sure that the quality of my life continues as is. It's always good to make sure. Some people have problems with colonoscopies. They don't like the procedure, but in the end, for myself, my personal experience is that it found my condition. And it found that 2 weeks ago that I flared up again. So we have some internal issues. So just trying to keep things under control. It's good to know that the doctor was able to find that, and I can take some action on it instead of letting it get worse.
Right. Absolutely. And there are some new, I hate to say this because I know people don't want to hear, but there are some new pharmaceuticals out there that actually can repair and rejuvenate. Because that's what I'm finding with the psoriatic arthritis. There are like other drugs that can actually repair erosion, I'm finding out. So
yeah.
Let's hope that there's some good news in all of this and that they can,
Yeah. They've always
longer make it so you don't have to have any surgery. That would be ideal.
Yeah. Well, part of the issue is when you have Crohn's disease and you have inflammation and stuff like that, you can end up with scarring, and you end up with narrowing of your intestine, your bowel, whatever word you want to use. But it gets narrow, and as things narrow, it makes it harder for things to pass through. And that's what happened to me. So,
yeah,
they did some minor work while they were in there in order to make things a little easier on me. But I still, it's been 2 years since they discovered it, and now they've had to take some action. Maybe in another 2 years, I'll be on the table. Who knows?
Yeah, we've been referred to a pediatrician for Taven because he seems to be having the same issues that I have.
Yeah.
So we've been referred to a pediatrician to see whether we can do a scope for him or not, because he's still classified as a child because he's not 16, right? So my doctor, didn't want to, schedule him with the surgeon until he's seen a pediatrician. So we're gonna see about that, and then. And I'm having to have another one of those nice procedures done too.
Well, I'll tell you, it when I started having to do these things 20 years ago, it was like a 3 or 4 day endeavor of drinking this stuff and drinking that stuff, and I can understand why people hated them, but like now it was like the day before up until noon. I had to eat. I could eat right up to the day before. So if I went in Thursday, so I had to stop eating Wednesday at noon. And then I just had to drink 2 glasses of fluid and take 6 pills. I didn't have to drink gallons and gallons of all this chalky stuff.
Salads and fucking do the enema and all that other shit.
Oh yeah, there was none of that stuff.
I remember that, like my very first one. Sorry, these little bugs.
It was like drinking 2 glasses of orange flavored Alka-Seltzer.
And then it was running through you like it's like when they went. It's like when they sent me for like one of those upper gas rolls, right? And you have to drink the chalk.
Yeah, endoscopy or something.
Yeah, whatever it is. So by the time because there was such a wait between when I had to drink it and when I had to go in, that I'd already passed it through my bowels and there was nothing there. So when they went to do the I didn't see anything because it had already passed through.
That's true, yeah.
She goes, that was 20 minutes. I go, yeah, I told you. But when it goes in, it comes out that quick.
Yeah, it's that can happen, and so what happened to me was the flare up, and I had my system was backed up, and when it can't go down, it comes up, right?
Yeah.
So it's just people can say, they can look at you and say, well, you look fine. Now I got pictures, I can show them otherwise.
I don't, that's another thing that bothersome. When people say, well, you look fine. Are you living inside my brain or inside my guts? Like, can you feel how I feel?
Yeah.
It's like, I say, I've got arthritis. Oh, I've got arthritis too. Oh, okay. Is it the same? Are you taking immune suppressing drugs? Is it autoimmune or is it? And I say it's no different. Like, I'm not trying to dispute that people's pains and stuff are different. We're all individual. You're individual. Your plight with your Crohn's is totally different from somebody else's who's got Crohn's. It's not comparable. Even though it's the same disease, we're all individuals and we all handle things differently, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. And it's same as with when it comes to the medications. Like, I know a guy, I was on one of the early drugs that I was on. It was an intravenous drug, and I know a guy. The first time he administered it, he sounds like your mountains are getting aggressive there.
No, it sounds like there's something in my. Hang on, I'm just gonna. Sounds like there's something in my veranda.
Oh yeah. All right. Oh, okay. I know what she's doing. She's checking out her veranda. Probably got a chicken loose.
A deer.
A deer? You got a deer? Is it in your veranda? Or just outside, obviously.
No, it was in the veranda. It just walked out. It's in the backyard. Yeah, it was in the veranda. I'm not sure there's not another one out there. Hang on. I'm gonna go check.
Okay, you go look. Yeah. They never expect, around where I'm here in the country, and I know during the fall when the apples were all out, we were getting deer up here in our front lawn. We were getting them in the side yards. The Tamara seems to get them all year round. They come right into town. They come right into her yard.
There's no deer in the veranda anymore, but yeah, I closed the door. But yeah, they up in the steps, and I don't know what But the bugger's still in the backyard. I can't. It's over here somewhere, but I can see on my cameras that there's definitely deer in the backyard.
That's something you'd want to get a picture of.
I think they're hearing that they're building that house. It's got 4plex. Right?
Yeah.
2 doors down. Come on. So if they hear anything banging, of course.
Yeah.
But that's been going on for ever.
Well, at least you can tell whether there's another deer in your veranda or not.
Yeah, well, because the window got broken,
Yeah.
Put a piece of cardboard over it right now because I've been waiting for 3 weeks for somebody to come and look at it.
Right.
Anyways, so yeah, so I can't even like open the curtain to look out like I could before because I've got a piece of cardboard there. So I actually physically have to open the door. And when you think you might have raccoons in your veranda, you definitely don't want to be opening that fucking door, right?
No. Yeah. Yeah. You don't want the raccoons saying, "Hey, what are you doing in my home?" Before you
Right.
get a chance to ask them.
Well, and that's the thing, like, there's so much wildlife here, but again, we live, I mean, they're freaking out because there's grizzlies walking, through Nelson and stuff right now. But also here they stopped the grizzly hunt. You're no longer allowed to hunt grizzlies in British Columbia. So the
Right. Yeah,
grizzly
they had that here in Ontario.
population
They
is
stopped
exploding
some
because that
years
grizzly
ago. Yeah.
popping up all over the place with babies, right?
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Something I guess big happened this week. I never even clued into what the week it was, but it was the fact that cannabis legalization here in Canada, 5 years as of yesterday. It never even dawned on me on Monday until I read it in the news.
Right? I mean, we're just kind of, I think we've been so desensitized because we've just gotten so used to it, right? Like, we're not having to do anything. Like,
Yeah. I think there's going to be maybe some change. Like obviously, when it comes to the
March
advocacy that was going
2024,
on in the past with
March of
all the
2024, they have to put out the report on what they're going to do to update the Cannabis Act because I read that today. So they have till March of 2024 to actually come out with a report to actually what's going to be done.
yeah, so that's what another 6 months, January, February, March, and then 6 months, 5 months.
Right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm not expecting any groundbreaking news when it does come out.
No.
Or anything.
All these have done is complain about packaging and no advertising and blah 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 and loss of money. Well, it wasn't supposed to be an industry to begin with, fuckers. So
There's a lot of complaints about the excise tax on the company ends of things. I
40
know that the
billion.
conservatives,
Yeah,
the conservatives were
42.3. I think it's 42.3 or 43.2 billion dollars. Because I brought that stat up today on my show as well. So
a few
they have
bucks.
actually collected almost like 43.2, or it's either 43.2 or 42.3
And
billion.
collectively, there are millions of dollars in debt to the federal government and taxes as well. But I know back there a little while ago, the conservatives were looking at a possibility of eliminating a tax on as a policy, and I hear them talk about the industry about eliminating the excise tax on medical cannabis, but why is it tax? Period. There shouldn't be any tax on it.
No,
It's medicine.
no. I mean, they want goods and services, right? So GST.
No, but why? Why?
Because it's a goods, right? Because it's an actual
Well,
product.
you go to the store and get your medicine. You don't pay GST on it.
Oh, you pay dispensing fees instead, which might as well be tax. Right? Like they just get it in other ways. Like I don't even know what to say because they charge you like $10.
Well, the dispensing fee goes to the farm. The dispensing fee goes to the pharmacy.
So the
Tax
pharmacy's
goes to the
taxing you.
government. What's that?
So the pharmacy's just directly taxing you for their own pocket.
Well, no, they're separating out the cost. This is the cost of the pill. This is going to cost for you to get it just given to you. It's sort of like hydro here in Ontario. We get our cost for our electricity, and then we also get another charge, a delivery fee.
And distribution charges.
Distribution charges. Where one
And
time that was all in together, and everybody.
Consumption is right because all that added up is more than what you actually consume in electricity. It's ridiculous. We have the same thing.
So they charge for the dispensing fee.
Yeah, I know. Then it's just like the corporates taxing you on top of the government taxing you.
Oh, tax. We're all paying out everywhere. I know. But yeah, I think we should go on the patient's end of things. But that didn't happen after 5 years. But there are some, there are some good things. There's some bad things. I've seen some people who have posted their reviews of 5 years of what they thought about the cannabis. They've seen some good things. They see some bad things. I saw one great big long post that the person went on about quite a bit of stuff, and in the end, they said that maybe by this time next year, I'll be back where I started back in the underground. Because just all the stuff that's been going, that's all the restrictions and the regulations and everything.
Right. With black market being so glutted with product too, it's the price. Like it's not even really worth it. You know what I mean? To put that much risk into your life. Before it was kind of worth it. Like a pound was worth, a couple $1,000. Now it's only worth $300 if you're lucky.
Yeah. Like, I don't know
for yourself, right?
Yeah. Like, I don't know what the LPs, sell it, or, sometimes they just sell it to the processor and stuff like that. I don't know what they get for them, but yeah, it's not like what before legalization, that's for sure.
No.
But then if they were paying that much money for, then what would that product cost be to the end consumer? Can you imagine if they were paying $2,000 for a pound, and then they turned around and converted that into
$10
edibles or into vape pens that just don't seem to work very well.
Yeah, and but again, when LPs first started out, it was $10 a gram or more.
Oh yeah, 15.
28 grams. That's $280 an ounce, and now you can pick up ounces for $28. I'm hearing, $1 a gram. Kind of. No, but I spend $100. I can buy an ounce for $100. Okay,
yeah, so I spent, store you get them under $100
because everybody's like, "Oh, the black market's way cheaper." I bought an ounce in the store. All taxes in was $119.99, and it was from a micro grow. I bought that flour, whatever that I was gifted. Well, that still cost. Well, it wasn't really. That cost me $100 for an ounce. So it wasn't. You know what I mean? Yeah, it wasn't so much of a gift. Let's put it that way. But it still cost me $100 for an ounce. Yeah. So the taxes were like $19.99, I guess, if you want. So equally, there's just the only difference was the tax. But so it was no different, and that was getting it from a fellow patient, right? Still wanted $100 for an ounce.
No, really, man? Yeah.
Nobody's giving nobody deals in the black, right? They're not.
Well, some people, like I said, maybe some people are. It's hard to go from that high dollar value of it to receiving the lower amount, yet the cost of the hydro continues to go up, or the cost of the food goes up.
Right.
So that means the cost of growing goes up.
Yeah, and power goes up. And so many people are using LEDs now, which, again, because of the power and because there's no heat to them, it's making things a lot easier for people, I think, because then they don't get the bugs. So there's a lot of problems being eliminated from growing indoor with LED lights. That's my experience and what I've been hearing too. A lot of people have changed over from metal halide because of the heat too, like the fact that they don't have to run air conditioning and a bunch of fans to keep the air. I still run a fan anyway because they need the air circulation. But again, that's just, I guess.
Well, look at it. The way I look at it is if you're growing at ground level and it's 95 degrees outside or 85 degrees outside and you're bringing air in from outside, it's not cooling. You've got the 85, 90 degree air before you even have a light turned on, no matter what kind of bulb, size of bulb or kind it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I've never in the summertime, I don't bring any intake out. You know what I mean? They were outside, but I didn't bring, even when I was growing indoors, we didn't bring any indoor or outdoor air in. We would circulate it through the air conditioner or whatever inside, right?
In the house. Yeah.
You'd have to.
Well, that was the nice thing about
Like, and we were using the metal halides back then. You'd get like
yeah.
degree in there. You burn your plants with it. It would be too hot. Wait.
Well, the in the wintertime, the heat would, you still filter the air out, the exhaust, through filter systems, and
The exhaust
you
went
put
out.
that heat right back into your house.
Yeah. Yeah. You can.
So, yeah.
As long as you don't mind the smell.
Well, if you get yourself a good air filter, if your room's not airtight anyways, the smell's gonna get out.
Oh, it does. Like I walk into my kitchen right now, when it just get knocked over, it's like 2 plants, and they're just like holy snap, and I think I've got to leave them at least another week. I'm thinking.
I was talking to someone earlier, just around supper time, and they were saying that their house just reeks. They got theirs drying in the garage, and the house reeks. They got company coming, and they're going, like, "What are we gonna do?"
Mine are still growing in the kitchen. You walk in, it's just like getting knocked over. It's all you smell.
Well, yeah, it was blooming, right? So it's gonna smell.
Oh, just big time. Yep. And it's like I said, I haven't really done much with it. Like I said, I'm not even really worried about 12 and 12. It's still getting outside light. Like it's still looks fine. Still looks like it's doing just fine. Yeah.
So when are you gonna harvest it?
It looks like it needs another week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the hairs are still pretty white on it.
Have you got your little magnifying glass?
Yeah, it's pretty crystally. It's not, but they're still pretty clear, and it's still pretty white haired. Like, yeah, so the hairs are still pretty white, and the trichomes are pretty clear. I'm just gonna.
Oh yeah, well you still got some clear trichomes, and you still got some more time. That's for sure.
Like I said, another week, maybe 2, and I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It's like so I would think it's already in 5. I think this would be the 5th week it's been in flower, so it might be a 6-week strain. It might be an 8-week strain. So we'll just kind of keep watching it. It'll tell me.
Oh yeah, exactly. It'll tell you.
Yeah, it'll tell me.
That's what it does, right? Plants talk to us.
Well, like I said, I got the ability to see look what it's looks like grown out by somebody else, of course, right? That did it in a tent and did it properly, like where I just grew mine outside and didn't fucking do anything with it. Like I gave it nutrients, I think twice, and then it got hose water. And even now I've given it nutrients once since I brought it in. And then I've been just washing it with water but it also had like steer manure and compost and really dark, rich soil this time. So I didn't think it needed a lot more nutrient than that, right? When the soil's got all that peat and compost but anyway, but this is what the bud I don't know if it'll let me do that with
well, hang on. It was there. Put it in front of you. There. Now come towards the camera. Well, I can see it, but it's not very good.
Breaking up. Anyway, but the bud was this is the Gorilla Glue or the Nano Glue because I got a Nano Glue and a Gorilla Glue plant. And it's pretty good, but I mean, it could be tighter. But again, that depends on what he's using for lights, and he's got them in a tent. I don't know. I'm always about the light spectrum, and stuff to get your buds that tight. But
so it's a little airy for you.
It's a little airy.
Yeah,
but it shouldn't be. Like I said, the Godfather's not. It's still a bit airy though. It's still a bit loose, but not as bad. Maybe not left long enough. Who knows? Right? But again.
Yeah. That happens.
His nutrients, because he does everything organic, and he's using worm castings, and he's doing organics. Maybe the buds don't get as tight organically, like because they're not getting that. I don't know. I've never grown with just straight organics.
Oh, I have quite a bit.
I know. Right? Like, does that make a difference? Like, does it make a difference in the?
I grow living organics, and my buds are tight. I don't end up with whispery buds, and I'm using LEDs.
Right, but you're using like 1,000 watt too, right?
No, I use a 630 LED.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and they will. You run them at full. They'll produce.
It also decides on the size of the room too. See where the spectrum's getting and how high too,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
the height of the spectrum of the light and what the diameter like that. That's what I always said too.
There's no penetration. If there's no penetration in the lower end, maybe the doesn't get past the canopy.
Right. That's another thing. And I don't know, do you take all your fan leaf off when it's close to bedtime, or do you leave them on?
I've always been a person that's just always left them on. But then there are times where I look at it and I go, I could probably save some time. I got
Right.
a busy week ahead, and
Well, these guys are
so
still like super green. Like they're not even turning yellow or showing any signs of like yellowing. Like usually when they're getting ready to finish being bud, they'll start dying. Like the big families will start turning purpley and kind of yellow and orange, kind of like fall leaves in the in the fall, right? And these
right.
girls are still pretty damn green. There's nothing dead on them. I haven't even really had to go pick a bunch of dead off them. I don't know. Like I said, it's like they're bionic cannabis plants because I've done absolutely nothing with them. They've got a mind of their own. They're just growing. One looks like it might have gone a bit hermath, but that's fine. It's because of the lights, right? Being flipped on and off.
Yeah.
But again, like whatever.
I don't know.
I can get a seed out of it maybe and then grow it some more. Ooh, look at that.
Purpley.
Yeah, the purpley. See, those aren't my girls aren't doing that. They're still like bright green.
Yeah, that comes down to sometimes just the strain too, right?
That's possible. I bet you I wonder if I can show. I'm sure I've got a picture on her.
I got a purple bouquet.
Oh, how pretty.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna go here.
We got 3 minutes.
I'm trying to get this picture. I'm just thinking it might not come up again either because of the stupid background that I put on here. But I took a picture not too long ago. I posted them on Facebook. You probably saw them. But this is the trichlomes of some of it. One of the buds. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have
No, your phone. Yeah, you've got that screen up behind you there, right?
Yeah,
so
it's not gonna show.
I tried over your bud photo, your bud shots, and you.
Oh, you know what I might be able to do? Hang on. I might be able to do this. This is a smarter idea, I think. Can you still see me when I'm in here?
You're gonna share the screen?
Yeah, if I can find them.
Okay, well, you look for that. I've got this already in there.
Okay, you bring that up.
Do you know what this is?
That looks like the first purchase of cannabis in the Yukon back in 2018 when what's his head there, Chuck, I think it was that his name, Chuck, went up and made the first, stood there and you got these nice young people buy their first gram of legal cannabis.
I was going to say Bruce in Newfoundland.
Okay, Bruce, that's his name. Pretty good though. That was 5 years ago, and this podhead remembers that.
There's no story to it. It's just that's it. It just talks about a picture that was taken, legalization 2018. This is at the St. John's store.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, because was it because of the time? The time.
Yeah,
right?
they're the first ones to hit the opening time of the business day across the country.
Right. Okay, so yeah, that's true. Yeah, that is crazy. Okay, let me see if this will let me share this. Oh, it will.
Oh yeah, there it is. It's coming. Click, click, click.
Okay, so there it is. That's one of my plants.
Oh, look at all the trichomes all over it.
Yeah, and that's like I said, I'm just taking this with my phone. Like I'm not doing anything with them. And there's, you know what I mean?
And you got. I see you got a carrot there.
Yeah. But like I said, these are growing in my kitchen, right?
This is in your kitchen, and this is with one of those square LED lights that makes everything look purple.
See, like I said, like it's still there's.
You can see it. You can see the purple hue from the light.
Yeah. But you can see they're pretty, the hairs on there are pretty white still, right? So,
Right.
yeah. But yeah, so there they are. But they're almost done, I think.
They're coming. They're coming. All right. Let's go to our commercial break. First, I'm going to do a little promo before we go to the break. But when we return, Tamara and I will just keep on shooting the shit. And we'll see you on this other side. We're live here at paceradio.net and cbgtv.com.
Are you ready to embark on a journey through the world of cannabis strains? Introducing CBG TV's Plug Break, a guide of strain reviews. Discover the best strain for your unique preferences and experiences. Whether you're a seasoned connoisseur or a newbie, this guide is your passport to a world of flavor, effects, and aroma. CBG TV, your cannabis lifestyle destination.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net. Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420.
Are you looking to get your medical cannabis grow license? Limestone City Hydroponics can help patients through the process of obtaining their license to grow medical cannabis. What's that? You don't have a doctor. If you meet the medical criteria, Limestone City Hydroponics has a nurse practitioner who can assess and provide medical cannabis prescriptions. What are you waiting for? Contact Limestone City Hydroponics at limestonecityhydroponics.ca or call them at 613-548-0420.
What do you find at paceradio.net? People advocating cannabis education.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Cannabis edibles are an effective way to manage pain and other ailments, especially when you deal with your trusted partner, Legacy 420, in Tyendinaga Mohawk territory. You see, we lab test every product on site to ensure proper dosage every time, which is critical when consuming cannabis edibles. All Legacy 420 edibles are made by our classically trained baker and chocolatier, and we also have super tasty vegan options.
Our baker has been in the industry for 25 years. She's also a chocolatier. Everything from savory to sweet, your chocolate bars, brownies, butter tarts, you name it, we make it.
Talk to our knowledgeable Cannatex about our incredible variety available. Give your trusted partners a call. Legacy 420 out on your road.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net. And you're watching the Pace Radio Show. We're back and we're live. How you doing, Tamara? You got through? What are you chewing on?
Oh, it's
that
these.
Look good.
It's these mocha drinks.
Oh, okay. Looks like something you bit into something sour or something.
Yeah, no, but they've got little chunks of fruit in them. So it's a little bit called, and so it's lychee juice with little fruit chunks in it. They're super good. This is my dinner, because I was sitting there, Taven's like, scoping around in the background here, trying to get himself some cereal.
Not deer hunting?
Pardon me?
He's not out in the yard deer hunting?
No. No.
Jumping off the deck and jumping on its back and wrapping his arms around its neck. Going
No.
for a ride, you know?
No, but I seen a video the other day of somebody in Grand Prairie petting one in a parking lot.
Aye. I got close.
You know, they're like I said, for that we've got town deer, so they're not really afraid of us. I'm probably more afraid of them because they do stomp. Like they will stand on their back legs and attack you, right? And that's
Right.
how dogs have been stomped and people have been hurt. So, and they've scratched up cars and jumping on top of cars. So I understand why people get annoyed with them, but they're here. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah, eh? You're staying away.
Well, we live in the mountains. What can you like? You know, this thing. What can you do? Like I'm like this is out my back.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and all of that is then, and that's a close up. Like, it's not quite that close to me, but like I said, we live, and then what can you do? Like that we're a wildlife corridor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you have your place too, and you're quite enjoying watching them.
Oh yeah, I enjoyed watching them. And you know the thing is that I just had an opportunity to watch them up close to the house. I could have just put my trail camera right out here in the yard, and I kept putting it in the back. I thought, Jesus, what? I should have left it out in the yard here so I could have seen what was going on exactly out here in the house. But I know that every time I took the dog out, she was hanging around in certain spots. So something was in the yard.
Oh, my big dog used to like to go out and roll in their poop. That was always fun.
There's what do we got here? I got something here from the Cannabis Council of Canada, and they did some survey of 122 LPs, and this is 71% of respondents reported a surge in tax payments in 2021, reflecting the adverse financial impact of escalating excise tax.
Is there no
83% of LPs reported negative net income.
But what, that was 2021, right? Do they have no stats?
2022.
2023.
Well, this is just 2022 report. 2023 is not over yet.
I guess we have just done our 2022 taxes, so
right.
That's right.
Yeah. So what they want to do is reform that excise tax.
Well, you know what they're not telling you either? Is they're putting shit out the back door. And their master growers are doing things they shouldn't be doing. So they should just publish up.
They want to get rid of excessive regulatory fees.
They also want to get rid of all the illegal dispensaries.
I know. Yeah. Well, it's not on this guy's list, anyways.
Well, listen, you know our mutual friend that works at an LP out in Quebec.
Yeah.
They were made sign a piece of paper stating that they would lose their jobs if they had any activities or were involved in any illegal cannabis activities.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I wouldn't doubt it.
That was just new, though. Just
non-disclosures, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And well, the one thing that I really like to see, and everybody wants to see, and that is this 10 milligram limit that changed. Now that group they're suggesting 100 milligrams. I've seen other groups that have suggested 50 milligrams.
Where was that packaging? This thing that I just bought, did I throw that in the garbage? Said that this was like 854 milligrams per gram.
Per milliliter?
For this. 824, I think it said. Hang on. Not kidding you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, here it is. So this is what the packaging says for this stuff. THC, 874.2 milligrams per gram of THC.
Yeah, from my understanding, it's 87% THC level. It's a pen?
Yeah. And then 2.5 milligrams of CBD.
Mm-hmm.
But total THC is 878.8 milligrams. So what is that? 87%?
87%.
But what?
I know you and I, and all of us people that were along before that legalization. It was always percentages all the time. Now it's all this milligrams, and there's all the conversion, and some people are really good at it, and some people aren't. And I just recently read that just make that into the percentage.
So they're claiming this is 87% THC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm calling bullshit.
I have cartridges here, but I don't have anything, any packaging left with the cartridge to tell me what it was. I just know that I think I've had one that might have emptied. The rest have always seemed like they're not emptying. So that's why I got my shadowrizer, and I can just put my stuff in there, clean it out, and put it in some more.
Yeah. This is another funny thing on here. The effects from eating or drinking cannabis can be long-lasting. The effects can last between 6 and 12 hours of use.
Oh. You must have been really hammered to go 12 hours.
But again, 87% THC, I'm calling bullshit.
Yeah, concentrates.
So
I've seen.
Not great. Like
I know people have said that 90% their concentrates are 90% THC, and that was before all this stuff.
I get that, but that would label me. That would put me like, that would make me really like, and it doesn't. You know what I mean? Like, I know the difference between like, no.
Let's see what else.
I mean, that's what I mean. That's why I'm calling bullshit, because I'm like, 87%.
You're talking about money there earlier. They say here between 2018 and 2021, $11 billion in sales.
No, I found something that actually said that it was like $43.8 million.
Hang on. It added 43.5 billion to Canada's GDP. So that's where you maybe got that $43 million right there.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. 98,000 jobs, $29 billion in investment. That's what they say.
That's crazy though, too, right? I love the fact that we can actually share screens. Various levels of Canadian government collects more than $1.5 billion in cannabis. In tax revenues, $1.12 billion in cannabis profit and tax revenue. In fiscal
That's what the government took in just in tax revenue.
And that's fiscal for 2021-22. So that's in one fiscal 21-22 year. 1.5 billion. And they've had 5 years to collect. So that's $5 billion.
Yeah. A few dollars.
Right. But again, if that money is going back to the province, because they're supposed to split it into the province at 75% is kept, or 25% is kept by the federal government in their coffers. 75% of that is supposed to be transferred to the provinces that opted into cannabis legalization. And then it's supposed to filter down to the municipalities that actually opted into cannabis distribution, right? So that $1.5 billion isn't just sitting in the main government's coffers, right? That's now been broken down and split up, and passed down. But what are they using it for? And that's one thing the Liberals, I will say, which is bothersome to me, is they don't talk about that. They don't say, hey, we're really grateful that we, brought this new industry in and we should really be working with it, instead of going poo-poo because it's cannabis and it was all about health and safety.
Oh, yeah.
Let's be real here. Like, I know nobody wants to say that, the alcohol, that they live off the avails of the alcohol and tobacco taxation either. But look at the tax rates on that that's going into the government coffers. So now they want to add
gasoline, even gasoline.
exactly. But when I was like reading through the stuff today, what they're ending up at the end of the day is they're going to start treating cannabis the same as they do tobacco.
Oh yeah.
They already pretty much are, but that means like the tobacco
Combination of tobacco and alcohol.
right, and they already have, right?
Yeah.
But,
oh yeah. A
so,
little bit from each end there, and you know they stigmatize it for all those years, and they're not all of a sudden not going to turn that switch around. And as you've always claimed, almost every show is that
if you go back into time, like, go back into Canadian history, and you see the prime ministers that we've had. Most Liberal prime ministers were probably like more leaning towards legalization, like Chrétien, for example. He was all for, you know, cannabis legalization. I believe Paul Martin was as well. And then you got the Conservatives. So you go from Chrétien to Harper, and then, you know, like, so what anything like the Daily reports and the, you know, Senate report in 2022 or 20, you know, or what was it? 20 was it 2002? The Senate report come out.
2003.
Yeah. So again, all these things that would have, you know, moved legalization forward a lot sooner when you have a government in power that, and that's where we were at. We couldn't get past the Conservatives.
Well, you got to remember, you know, before legalization, Canada's laws on cannabis were
archaic.
6 plants, mandatory minimum of 6 months in jail. You get caught with over 200 plants. You had, what did you get? Oh, I can't remember the exact amount of time. But
my husband did 2 years less a day for 75 cannabis plants.
There you go. Well, if you got caught sexually abusing children or forcing children to have sex with animals, you served less time than somebody growing cannabis. Like, that's what their law was. And you know, it's right there in the books. People can't deny it. That's what it was under the previous government. And we also know that patients lost the right, had to fight for their rights back to be able to grow cannabis because they took our rights, tried to take our rights away. We all know the kitty litter story.
There's some pretty disturbing new studies and researches. Hang on a second. They came out too. Just like if you Google CBC on CBC,
there's probably a bear up there in the mountains.
No, it says dang puppy fighting with the old girl. Hang on.
Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna run a little short little clip where she deals with the dogs. We had 2 weeks ago, we had Irene on the show. She filled in for you. So we were talking some books. So now I got some videos. So I'll just throw a couple in here.
He is a demon. So I found that article.
Sounds like it.
He is. He's Yorkie. I found that article from the CBC, 5 years of legalization cannabis. And this is a dreadful story, Al. I'm going to bring it up because it is dreadful. I hadn't even.
I got it here on my screen.
Do you have it?
Yeah.
Bring it up.
5 years of legal cannabis, fewer charges.
Yeah, but look at the hospitalizations and look at the stats in that. Have you read the whole article?
I can just imagine they're going to be huge.
Oh, it was ridiculous.
Just because you're always hearing about the kids.
Right? But this wasn't about kids. This is like really bad.
They say more than a quarter of Canadian adults, 27%, say they use cannabis, up from 22% since 2017.
If you click on the Canadian Medical Association journal, that's even more fucking ridiculous.
The paper notes the important social benefits from substantial reductions in criminal arrests and charges, along with associated stigma. They say 2/3 of active cannabis users get theirs from their legal source, according to the paper. But I wonder if 3/4 of legal have gone maybe into a store. But does that mean that it doesn't mean that they've stopped buying them from other sources?
Right.
They've just gone into a store. I would.
Yeah, but scroll down to the harms.
Harms. Oh, right there. Okay.
Oh yeah, scroll down to the harms. And underneath the picture, it says there's 105,000 hospitalizations for cannabis over a 7-year period. 1/3 were among people aged 15 to 24, while 70,000 or 66% were among males. They're basically saying that the problems have gone up by like 200 and some percent.
So 30,000 15 to 24-year-olds were hospitalized?
Yeah, keep reading. It gets worse.
Study focused on the 3 time periods, pre-legalization, blah, 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 okay.
And then you go down past it and it goes mixed or uncertain, and there's like, where does it say? The increasing potency of cannabis sold.
They go on about schizophrenia.
Yeah, that too. And then if you go into the, like I said, you go into the medical marijuana, if you like click onto the link from the college and physicians kind of thing. Oh my God, these 2 dogs.
They say as the numbers go up, they expect to see increases in harm. Oh, she's gone. Didn't you know she was gone? That's what happens when I'm looking at the other screen. Wow. Like I knew the kids. I know the kids' numbers and all that was going sky high. Yeah. But I was 105,000 populations over 7 years. So
Right. And then
so
they go, and then they click onto the medical
15, outcomes. 50, yeah, like
they're saying that it goes up like national surveys data monitoring cannabis usage before and after cannabis. Legalization shows an increase in the prevalence of cannabis use from 22% in 2017 to 27% in 2020.
Yeah, I read that. Yeah, it's up here. Right in here.
Right. So there's like, so they're not looking at this in any way positive. And we've got these other, entities like, the Canadian Medical Association Journal that are like lobbying against it.
Yeah, right? They did not cite any direct health benefits from legalization.
None.
According to the journal. Yeah.
Which is not helpful for patients. And then didn't you have some stats a couple weeks ago stating that the medical marijuana program, the numbers have dropped?
Oh, yeah. The numbers have dropped. Well, people can just go into the store. And then there's other advocates that are saying, well, maybe that works from some people. There's a lot of people that need somebody to speak to on the other end.
Oh, and here's another
article. Bud tender.
June 16th, 2022, BC has received more than $112 million in excise for cannabis taxes. So the story, yeah, so that just shows you that they actually are filtering it back down to the provinces. And this is a whole, cannabis revenue has fallen short. Provinces' agreement with federal government on excise taxes never stipulated that revenue would be shared with municipalities. Oh,
excuse me.
I thought they did. The Canada Department of Finances said explicitly that a substantial portion of the revenues be transferred to local communities. So it is. So that's what the communities, I guess, are bitching because the provinces aren't giving them their cut.
Mm-hmm.
Which doesn't shock in any way, shape, or form.
They say that Saskatchewan still has some of the lowest intake in the country. They say even before legalization, cannabis use was on the rise, saying that the rate more than doubled between 1985 and 2017. And that was that actually tripled because it went from 5.6% to 15%.
Right. Yeah, they're saying that consumption's up. And then there was some other article I brought up that they were saying the harms were 107,000 accidents in Canada were cannabis related.
What? Well, you're not we're not reading about accidents in the paper all the time.
I know. But it was another article I brought up today on my show too. And it was stats on accidents in Canada. Where is that one?
Well, the insurance companies have had some reports saying that there's been no increase.
No, this was an article saying they did. Hang on. I think it was something off that article. Accidents related to
cannabis use was the highest in provinces like BC, Alberta, Ontario, Nova Scotia, but low in Quebec, and Saskatchewan.
Okay, so following legalization, March 2020, which came with limit retail stores cannabis product options, the study found 94% increase in the quarterly rate of cannabis involvement in traffic injury and emergency room visits.
What?
Not kidding you. Now I can bring it right up.
94% increase.
%94 increase in the quarterly rate of cannabis involvement in traffic.
Oh, you did a Google search.
Yep.
What was the source? Let's say it's Global News or something like that.
Yeah, it's Global News. And there's
very large increase.
Legalization linked to, this is Journal of Studies of Alcohol and Drugs. This is July 18, 2022. Oh, that's New Jersey. That's in the States. So we don't want that. We want Canada stats. Cannabis legalization in Canada. So we don't get a bunch of American. Oh my God, this is worse.
What?
Although cannabis-specific dates are not available, recent reports.
Is it on this? You got the share screen on, so I don't know what you're looking at.
This one.
Which one?
Can you not see it?
Oh, the one that's on the screen now?
Yeah. I changed it. Police reported drug-related driving by 109.5% since legalization.
Wow, really? Geez, we still don't see it in the news.
Here's another one.
There you go. Look at that. Whoa, scroll back up. Well, there's another one. Whoa. Study finds no increase in traffic injuries after cannabis. It's right at the bottom. UBC Facility of Medicine. And then there's other ones that say that there's serious traffic accidents.
UBC Northern Medical Professor. Not associated with increased traffic.
Yeah.
Nope. Yeah. So I mean, there's so many conflicting. Like what do you believe? And this is the University of British Columbia.
Yeah, this is in 2021. Has it gotten up that dramatic in the last 2 years? You would think you'd be seeing it all over the press.
Well, you'd think so.
It just doesn't match some of the stuff, but
no, it really, like I said, there's so many conflicting. That one says no increase. Serious traffic accidents, that's CNN, so that wouldn't make anything. New study shows no increase. This is 2021 November. Not led to increase in driving-related injuries among people in 2 Canadian provinces. That's Vancouver Sun. Commercialization of cannabis links to increased traffic. This is the University of Ottawa. Commercialization of cannabis link. Are you seeing this one? Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
Commercialization of cannabis. Increased traffic injury. In other words,
by 475%.
Yep.
That's emergency department visits.
A new study from the Ottawa Hospital Brewery Research Institute. Study examined cannabis involvement in emergency department visits for traffic injuries between 2010 and 2021 and look for changes after legalization of cannabis in October of 2018. overlap of COVID pandemic. Our finding highlights a concerned increase in cannabis involvement in traffic injury emergency visit over time. Even sharper spikes following phases of legalization and commercialization. The key findings: number of cannabis involved traffic injuries, visits increased significantly. Annual rates to visit surged by 475% from 0.18 visits to 1,000 total more vehicle collisions in 2010. In 2021. Up until 2021. So from 2010 to 2021. These are old stats.
Yeah.
This is
all right, well, we gotta go for a break. Pay some bills.
Yeah.
Time. All right. You're watching the Pace Radio Show. We're live here at paceradio.net and cbgtv.com, and we will see you. Very shortly. I've got all my screens all moved around here, but I found it.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Cannabis edibles are an effective way to manage pain and other ailments, especially when you deal with your trusted partner, Legacy 420, in Tyendinaga Mohawk territory. You see, we lab test every product on site to ensure proper dosage every time, which is critical when consuming cannabis edibles. All Legacy 420 edibles are made by our classically trained baker and chocolatier, and we also have super tasty vegan options.
Our baker has been in the industry for 25 years. She's also a chocolatier. Everything from savory to sweet, your chocolate bars, brownies, butter tarts, you name it, we make it.
Talk to our knowledgeable Cannatex about our incredible variety available. Give your trusted partners a call. Legacy 420 out on your road.
In February of 2022, the Victoria Cannabis Buyers Club and Ted Smith were fined $6.5 million. This for helping 8,500 patients with access to medical cannabis. In our interview with Ted, he spoke to us about how people can donate to help in an upcoming court challenge. And here is part of that interview. From what I've seen lately, I believe that you've got something that you're trying to do as far as fundraising to deal with this next court challenge.
For now, people can write checks directly to Jack Lloyd Law Corporation or send e-transfers to save the VCBC at gmail.com. I guess those are the two easiest ways for people to help right now.
Pace Radio is the people advocating cannabis education radio network.
Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420.
Are you a cannabis content creator? Are you looking for a place to have your content seen? If you answer yes to both questions, then you need to check out cbgtv.com. CBG TV, broadcasting to a worldwide audience. Find us at cbgtv.com.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.
Hey, welcome back. We're live here at paceradio.net and cbgtv.com. And we've got about 20 minutes to go. And we've been discussing some legalization stuff. As we know, it's been 5 years now since Canada legalized cannabis, and we're discussing what some of the changes and some of the good stuff and bad stuff, and these accident numbers. Like, that's just crazy.
Yeah, I was a bit thrown back when I looked them up today myself, because I thought, well, we'll just do a Google search, and because I had no guess, I was like rambling on to myself, so I figured I might as well ramble on about something and have some stats and facts in front of me. Like I said, I had one guest come in, not guest, but somebody commenting on the page, and I was like, okay, well, let's look this up. Let's find the evidence for these things you're saying.
Yeah.
But again, maybe who knows.
Yeah. So there's been some good things. Less arrest for possession charges. There's been some bad things. Like all the vapor lounges are gone, but things hopefully someday will change. The people are getting access. We've got over 3,000 stores here in the country. We've got 1,700 here in Ontario alone. And having access to cannabis, has always been something that's been important for me anyway, especially when it comes to patients. But I just, refer them to maybe get some better, especially the ones who don't know anything, than going just into a recreational store. It'd be nice for them to be able to sit down and talk to somebody.
Well, they've got some stats on Justice Canada for 2 years post legalization for arrests, cannabis crime statistics in Canada. This is on Justice Canada. That and I'm not sure. So this says based on 2019, was based in 2017. COVID-19. So they throw that in there, that the impact of COVID-19, right? The fact sheets. Is there more? Oh yeah, here we go. Legalization in cannabis for drug offenses made up a smaller portion of all drug offenses, less than 1/5 compared to a little over 2/3 prior to legalization.
You see a bunch of negative. You see a bunch of negative numbers in that chart on the right there.
Percentage change rates from 2019 to 2020. So cannabis-related charges were down pretty much in the negative in almost every province.
Everywhere, but it looks like everywhere but British Columbia and Nunavut.
New Brunswick is 7% still.
Yeah.
That's the only one that has a positive.
Nunavut.
Nunavut
119% increase. Boy, somebody went hog wild there, busting everybody.
Trafficking, production, or import or export. So it's hard to say. And this is police reported crime stats in 2020. But look at the difference, from down 31% in Prince Edward Island, down 27% in Alberta, up 30% in British Columbia. Because they're still busting in British Columbia. We still have, there are quite a few illegal entities still running in Vancouver and in downtown Vancouver.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
And then they've, shut down bakeries, the S&M sweet shop, Doug and Michelle. That's all. And these stats also state that it could be just in tickets too. It might not be right.
Well, the CSU does. They go in there and just take everybody's stuff and then leaves and
gives you a ticket.
Yeah, come back and give them a fine.
Right.
As if it was a jury and the whole bit. Here's your fine. Yeah.
Right. So you have to wonder where that product's going to begin with, too. What are they doing with it? Are they actually destroying it?
What are you talking about? Oh, the police, when they take it?
Yeah, like what are they doing with it?
They were supposed to apparently destroying it, burning it, putting it in the incinerator. I mean,
Somehow
right?
I don't do that.
Don't think so? Think it's going out the back door?
Well, they're underfunded. They got to make money somehow. Our shop here out in our Tanaha got shut down.
You talking about the one on the reserve? Oh, did it? So you got no more reserve stores near you?
Preston, which is an hour and a half west of me.
So did the reserve shut it down, or did the store shut it down, or did the police shut it down?
Long story short, there was another crime committed out there. The house, I think, burnt during the fire because there was a fire out there, right? With that wildfire out there. So, but apparently it had been shut down prior to that because there was a murder apparently out there. That's what I was told. So it was shut down because it was, something else going on. I don't know all the details. I don't have any, that's all I was told. So we don't have anything close. Preston.
Yeah. Yeah, really. Yeah. Huh. I'm going tomorrow.
Pardon me?
I'm heading tomorrow. I'm heading down to the reserve tomorrow.
Nice.
Yep. Be going down, taking Tessa with me. We'll be going down visiting the folks down in Legacy 420. She'll come into the store. She'll take a look around at things. Last time I took her down, she visited the Ollie Dog cabinet with all the CBD stuff and treats and things for the dogs.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got some drops too, but they're not Ollie Dogs. They're CETA. They're county
Oh,
yeah. But I got, it's the icy pot, right? Just got a big shipment.
Right.
Pot, so.
Yeah, I saw you post a picture or something of it, and you said this is what I've been using for the last 10 years or something along that line.
Look, I've been using that for a very long time. And another thing too, it's like not coconut based. People are allergic to coconut oil.
Oh yeah. Well, people are allergic to cannabis, and some people didn't realize that. So
right,
it's a plant, right? I'm allergic to carrots, for Christ's sakes. Yeah.
Right, like some people it just doesn't. Yeah, like I know people who can't touch it at all. Yeah. They break out in hives. Totally. Yep. But yeah, so. But again, like, we've got, good things and bad things that have come out of legalization, which is good to a point, bad to a point. And let's hope that some things will change, shortly. I know we've had a few court cases that were supposed to change the constitutionality of the medical marijuana program, but I haven't heard where they're really at either.
Yeah. Some of them still have a publication ban on them.
Well, I know our friend in Nova Scotia there that was trying to fight with the WCB. I can't remember her first name. I really probably shouldn't mention him, but they absolutely canceled her tribunal because there was too much going on, and they wanted to be sure that it was her. Then she has to testify, and she was also like representing herself, and it was trying to get WCB to recognize cannabis as a medicine, right?
Yeah, it's a challenge. Trying to get them to do any of that, recognize it, as we know.
Don't recognize it yet. When you're taking the course to sell it, they make a distinct line about difference in medical cannabis and recreational cannabis, and how you can't speak about medical cannabis if you work in a retail store. Yet they don't recognize medical cannabis.
You can tell them that, this is going to get me really stoned.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
But they can't speak about it.
No.
Well, being that they're not trained in it, I guess it'd be like going to the drugstore and going in and getting your prescription and not having somebody who's trained to.
Well, we have pharmacists, right?
Yeah, they have a pharmacist that can come to the counter and talk to you. And this is one thing that I've said is, why don't they allow some type of medical dispensary inside the rec stores? Give
And
them
have
the
it,
option,
and
and you
here's
have, or allow them an option of having an office in there where they can have a professional health practitioner that could talk to the person and give them some proper answers and
right,
guidance. Yeah.
and have a training program for people to take. Just like you can take a nursing course, well, why can't you take a cannabis medical course? I'm sure that there are people that could teach it. A cannabinoid therapy course for, if you've got any medical background, even if you don't, maybe it
Oh
should be
yeah, there's
added.
all kinds of courses out there. We've had some of our guests and stuff on that in the past that have talked about, that they've had courses or taken some classes. And I know like Loyalists, they had programs there in Belleville at the college on
Right?
cannabis. They still do.
We
Yeah.
had one here at the Rocky Mountain too, but it was all about selling retail. It had nothing to do
Oh
with
yeah.
medicine. It had nothing to do with growing. It had everything to do with
Oh yeah. No,
how you
they yeah.
to be able to sell them in a retail store. It doesn't exist anymore. It's
Oh yeah. No.
$5,000 for a 3-month course, and most of it was Googling online. We didn't have an expert to teach it. No, I'm serious. I had a friend that took it because
Yeah.
it was a waste of money. Total waste of money.
The if it's an educational course and there's things that can be learned, great, because I know that we were always talking about doctors and nurses, and as a report that we've recently had on the news talked about the fact that Canadian nurses aren't learning about cannabis. And I recently talked to a graduating nurse, someone who just graduated, and they had just a very small little thing. Like sounded like it wasn't even half a day.
No, it's probably more to recognize the addiction of marijuana and the harms of marijuana.
No, they didn't mention anything
Or
about that.
they've got cannabis psychosis or or whatever the other, cannabis mysocasis or whatever the hell you call that. So they probably teach them what to look for the harms if somebody comes in acting all freaky, oh, you smoking weed? Like, I can just imagine what they're teaching them propaganda that, is it any benefit to it? Like, is there anything that's good?
Well, I know at the Loyalist College, there is a documentary in there that I took part in, be right around 2011, 2012, and they interviewed a bunch of us patients. And the documentary went on to win Documentary of the Year at the college.
Well, that's excellent.
Unfortunately, it's not available publicly, and it's only was only being used within the school.
Right, but if they're still using it, then that's good.
As far as I know, it's still there. Like, I don't know whether it's using, but it would be in their archives anyway. Something like, we're looking at 12 years ago, 11 years ago.
You think after, like, we've had so many patients come forward and there's so much testimonial.
Oh.
The doctor would have picked up the torch and said, hey, maybe I should get a research program together. I only need 10 patients for a small research paper.
Well, there has been, but then there's funding that's required that costs money. Like Dr. Weir, he came out with that report on smoking of cannabis relieving pain out of McGill University in Montreal. And I used that in a letter to my MP one time. And he responded that it was such a small study that it didn't really mean much.
Well, even with this new, like I said, after legalization, they're not coming forward with saying, hey, there's been a huge, that's because people can't go into a store and say, hey, I've got this affliction, can you help me out?
Yeah.
So they don't have any real stats on what people are using it for. Like, they don't know whether I'm going in because I've got a headache or I don't want to take a Tylenol or I need to sleep, so I'm going to go buy some cannabis, and that's medical use.
It is medical use, exactly. That's why they say that almost half of the people who go into the stores do so for medical purposes.
But they're not putting those stats out there. They're saying, oh, there's
well, that's in the that's in the National Cannabis Survey that the federal government does.
Yeah. I don't know how that goes.
Yeah, the NCS. They do them every year.
Well, I'd like to see some change in the dosage. That's for sure.
Oh yeah. Well, the whole industry wide, everybody. Like it's not just everybody wants to see. Well, maybe some people don't want to see it because they can have that and other people can't. But
Here's another thing I don't understand. There's no storage limits on how much cannabis you can have in your house, but
no.
they're limiting you to 4 plants.
Yeah, because they can't determine how much. It's just like they can't determine how much a plant is going to yield. Just like they can't determine how tall plants, because as you recall, when
Yeah, they
cannabis
want
legalization
to
came
take
out,
that.
they limited that
Yeah,
to 100 centimeters.
You know, what are they going to do? Walk around with the measuring tape on the sides of their cock pants?
Well, yeah, exactly. And the genetics of the plants, it doesn't work that way. I know, like quick math on mine would be I did a measurement. Times 2. It's 2.5 centimeters in an inch. Oh yeah, I was well above that.
I think I am too.
Yeah, it was almost three times.
Yeah, I don't know how
Yeah,
tall the things are in the kitchen. Taller than me, but they're also in 5-gallon buckets, right?
yeah.
So they're sitting like, a 5-gallon bucket off the floor. They're not sitting directly on the floor. They've got that much bucket right off the floor,
Correct. Yeah.
and they're in the buckets. But th're still like, well, I'm 4'9". They're taller than I am, so they're 5
Yeah,
feet.
I always look at it as the plant itself is only as tall as from the top of the bucket.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
the root would always be underground in a normal situation, right?
Right. Yeah, that's how I look at it too. So I'm
Yeah.
thinking they're 4 feet, probably 4 feet, because like I said, with the bucket, that's a foot, right? So
Yeah.
you take that off, but they're taller than I am.
Yeah,
And
well, there you go. You just said that it's 4-foot plant, foot for the bucket or so. So there's a little more than 5 feet. And I'm thinking, oh yeah, it's taller than Tamara for sure.
Oh, yeah, for sure, they are. And like I said, I'm just going to give them a little more time, but I'm glad that I got them inside and they didn't die. Because last time I brought my plants inside, I had them in garbage buckets, like 2 great big, huge, like green garbage cans. They were big.
Yeah.
And I brought them in, and within 2 weeks, they were dead.
Really?
Like, dead. Yeah, they just shriveled up and died. Like, and I don't know why. They were under lights, they were watered, but they just literally, it was like they just went.
Oh, the shock of coming inside? I don't
I
know.
know. So I was afraid these ones are going to do the same thing, and they haven't. So it's knock on wood that they're not dead yet.
Sounds like they're still growing. Well, they're blooming. You showed us pictures of the buds.
That was today. I take those pictures today. So yeah, they're not dead yet. I haven't killed them yet.
No.
I used to I used to grow beautiful plants when I had the farm. I had great big huge beautiful plants, and yeah.
Yeah. Well, they can get really nice looking. I had some purple and I had some purple yellow and
Yeah, I know. They're beautiful, right?
yeah.
And now outside. So have you harvested everything now, or are you at the end of
No, time. It worked out pretty good as far as the time wise. As far as knowing, because the plants come off at different times, right? Some are earlier than others, some are later than others. So it worked out good, and almost that time's coming.
How cold is it getting out there?
We have single digit lows, and we're getting anywhere from 10 to 15 is the highs. No snow. I thought I saw some frost, but I know I can tell you that they got snow in Algonquin Park, which is a little more than an hour north of me.
Right.
So it's close.
We haven't gotten any snow yet. I'm all worried about my, because we got that new hose downstairs, and I couldn't find a turnoff for it.
Right.
And why does he do that every time? So I phoned M&K today to see, I couldn't find a turnoff for it. But apparently it's a new frost-free thing, and all I have to do is unhook the hose from outside and turn it off, and it'll cap itself.
Wow.
And it'll drain itself off the side of the house, and I won't have to worry about it.
Well, if you don't have to worry about it, that's good.
Well, that's what they told me. So if something happens, it's on them.
Oh, good. All right. I see we're basically at shout out time. Person, place, thing. You got anything you want to throw a shout out at?
Yeah, not really. I guess there's not really anything coming up. If we're doing our shows, other than that, like we don't really
Yeah, we're just doing our shows.
Yeah.
There's some things in the works.
Yeah. What do you got going in the works?
Upcoming shows.
Oh, nice. That's always good to hear, right?
Well, I'm looking at like this Saturday or this weekend is a cannabis event. There's a possibility. I'm looking at maybe going to it. And when I travel, I usually travel with a microphone in hand. You know how it is.
Yeah. So maybe go live from your location.
From wherever I will be this Sunday if I go this Sunday. There's a market in Toronto, so I might go down and cover it. So.
Well, I'm glad you're feeling better, and I'm glad that the procedure went well.
Yeah.
It was best to be expected, and that you got some answers, and hopefully things continue to stay kind of, on the DL.
Yeah, exactly. It's just sort of don't push things sometimes, and learn how to deal with it. And exactly. All right. Other than that, we're done. We're at the end of the show. This is the end of the broadcast. Thanks to our sponsors, Legacy420.com, Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, as well as Limestone City Hydroponics. Big thank you to our listeners, viewers. I keep going back to listeners, the radio days, right? And
you can mute them idiot dogs barking. So
tell our dogs I gotta go out and see mine. I haven't seen her in an hour and a half before I put her out for the show, so she's out there. Other than that, good night, everybody, and we'll talk to you all next week, same time, same place, right here, paceradio.net, cbgtv.com. Bye-bye.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own, and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with. All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.